Have you ever looked at the clock and realized 3 hours has passed, but it feels like 30 minutes? Maybe it's happened while gaming, maybe while driving, working, making music, skateboarding, or doing something completely random. For me, I've experienced it most while gaming, making beats in FL Studio, and skateboarding. I will sit down thinking I spent an hour on something. Then suddenly it's dark outside and half of the day has already disappeared. You weren't forcing yourself to focus. You weren't constantly checking your phone. Everything just clicked. Your action felt automatic. Sometimes 3 hours feel like 30 minutes. Other times 30 seconds feel like 3 minutes. Time starts behaving differently. There's actually a name for that feeling. Flow state. And it's probably one of the best mental states a human can experience. And once you understand what it is and how it works, you can start experiencing it much more often. What is flow state? Flow state is a mental state where you completely immerse in whatever you're doing. Your attention narrows, distraction fades away. Instead of consciously thinking through every single action, your brain starts working almost automatically. It's almost like switching to autopilot, but not the kind where you're zoning out while driving and barely remember the trip. It's the opposite. You're actually more present than usual. Your conscious mind takes a step back and all the practice, repetition, and experience you built up starts taking over. You react naturally. You trust your own instincts. You stop worrying about the mistakes. You stop thinking about the future or the past. You're simply present. Athletes call it being in the zone. Musicians experience it during performances. Programmers can code for hours without noticing the time. Gamers know exactly what it feels like when every moment just seems effortless. I've had sessions where I was b-hopping for hours. Not because I was grinding for anything, but because I was completely locked in. The same thing happens when I'm producing music. I keep tweaking a new melody or a new drum pattern, and before I know it, hours have gone by without me even noticing. It's almost like your body already knows what to do before your mind has time to think about it. Even though you're fully focused, it doesn't actually feel mentally exhausting. In many cases, it feels easier than trying to force yourself to concentrate. Why it feels so good? One of the reasons flow feels so satisfying is because your brain loves the balance between challenge and skill. If something is too easy, you get bored. If it's way too difficult, you become frustrated or overwhelmed. But when the challenge is just slightly above your current ability, your brain becomes fully engaged. You're constantly solving problems without feeling stressed. It's the reason I can spend hours learning a new trick on a skateboard or trying a different sound in a beat without feeling drained. It's challenging enough that I have to focus, but not so difficult that I want to quit. This balance creates one of the most rewarding mental states we can experience. When everything just clicks. If you ever played Counter-Strike, you probably recognize this. Sometimes you're hitting every shot, every moment feels smooth, every peak feels natural. You're not thinking, should I swing here? Should I reload? You simply react. For me, B-up maps are a perfect example. Sometimes every jump just connects naturally. You're not trying anymore, you're just doing it. Then maybe someone starts talking in Discord, or you start thinking about how well I'm playing. Suddenly you hesitate. Missing jumps, missing shots, second guessing yourself. Nothing changed mechanically. Your focus simply shifted away from the present moment, and just like that, the flow state disappears. The funny thing is, you usually don't lose flow because your skills disappeared. You lose it because you started thinking instead of doing. Flow happens everywhere. Gaming is just one example. Flow can happen almost anywhere. Driving on a familiar road, playing an instrument, producing music, drawing, programming, cooking, reading, working, studying, even cleaning your house. I have noticed it while skating too. When you are trying a trick over and over, eventually there are those attempts where everything feels effortless. You're not constantly thinking about where your feet are supposed to go anymore. Your body just knows. The activity itself doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to become completely absorbed in what you're doing. The more attention you give to the present moment, the easier flow becomes. Flow state is like meditation. This is actually one of my favorite ways to think about flow. It's surprisingly similar to meditation. When people hear meditation, they usually imagine sitting cross-legged with their eyes closed. But meditation isn't really about sitting still. It's about training your attention. When your mind wanders, you gently bring it back, again and again. Flow works in almost the exact same way. During flow, you're completely present. You're not thinking about tomorrow, not replaying yesterday, not worrying about your phone. You're simply focused on what's directly in front of you. The next jump, the next note, the next corner, the next sentence, the next movement. Whether I'm skating, making a beat, or playing a game, those are the moments where my mind feels the quietest. Everything else of what I'm doing just fades into the background. Bills, stress, social media, even my own thoughts. And honestly, that's probably one of the reasons flow feels so peaceful. How to enter flow? Unfortunately, there isn't a button you can press to instantly enter flow, but you can create the right condition for it. First, remove distractions. Put your phone away, turn off notifications, focus on one thing. Second, have a clear goal. Don't just sit down and say, I'll do something. Instead say, I'm gonna finish this beat. I'm going to practice this beat up map. I'm going to land this trick. I'm going to edit this video. Your brain likes knowing exactly what it's working toward. Choose the right level of difficulty. If it's too easy, you will get bored. If it's impossible, you'll get frustrated. The sweet spot is something that's challenging enough to keep you engaged but still achievable. And finally, give yourself time. Flow rarely happens within the first few minutes. Sometimes it takes 15 or 20 minutes before your brain fully settles into the task. Don't quit too early. How to stay in flow. Once you're in flow, don't interrupt it yourself. One of the easiest ways to lose it is by becoming self-aware. You start thinking, I'm playing really well. I hope I don't mess this up. Now your attention isn't on the task anymore. It's on yourself. Instead, stay focused on what is happening right now. Trust your training. Trust your instincts. Whether you're trying to hit clips, finish a song, or finally land that trick you've been chasing, keep going. The less you analyze yourself, the longer flow usually lasts. What happens when you lose flow? Eventually you will lose it. Everyone does. Maybe you miss a shot, messed up your recording, fell off a skateboard, lose concentration, or something distracts you. Most people respond with frustration. They get angry, start forcing things, try harder. Ironically, that usually pushes flow even further away. Instead, notice that your attention drifted, accept it, then calmly bring your focus back to the task. Exactly like meditation. Don't fight it, don't chase flow. Just recreate the condition that allowed it to happen in the first place. It often comes back naturally. The more I think about it, the more I realize some of my favorite memories came from being in flow. Long gaming session with friends, making music until 3 in the morning, landing a skate trick after trying for hours. None of those moments feel like work. I was simply present. Flow is a secret ability that only professional athletes or top gamers have. Almost everyone experiences it. The difference is that most people never recognize it. Once you understand what flow feels like, you begin to notice it everywhere. Whether you're gaming, working, creating, learning, or just living life. Flow isn't about escaping reality. It's about becoming completely present inside it. And that's why it feels so good. Maybe that's why so many of us spend hours consuming games, music, or sports. We think we're chasing entertainment, but we're really chasing the feeling of being completely present. Maybe the goal isn't to spend more time doing what you love. Maybe it's to spend more time truly being present while you're doing it. Thanks for watching.